Hey, what's up, guys? This is a new episode of the Crunch Time Podcast. I don't even remember what episode it is, but I hope you guys have or not hope. Why am I saying I hope you guys have a good rest of your day? I hope you guys are having a good morning or a good afternoon whenever you see this. I don't know. But yeah, man. Yesterday was a busy day for me. I wasn't able to get a podcast, so I didn't have time to do one yesterday. So everything that we would normally talk about Monday, we'll just talk about today. And then next time, we'll just, since there's a lot of stuff going around the NBA, around the Olympics, we'll talk about that in our next podcast that we do later in the week. But for today, we will talk about baseball. We will talk about our MLB power rankings. We will talk about how the Rays sweeping the Red Sox means a huge deal in the AL, and how the Dodgers probably won't win a World Series. And also, we will talk about the Cubs' Big Three, all hitting bombs, going yard in their debut. I am still a little depressed by that, but you know what? That's okay. I can deal with it. I can deal with it. And, yeah, that's really what we're going to be talking about for today. That's usually what our Mondays are looking like right now. And that's what we got on the agenda. So, first off, I think we might as well just start off, with the Cubs' Big Three, in my opinion, who all went to different teams. Anthony Rizzo went to the Yankees, Javier Baez went to the Mets, and Chris Bryant went to the Giants. I am sad. Me personally, I am sad. I am sad that they lost, but I'm happy they are on teams. Besides Rizzo, no one wants to see Rizzo on the Yankees. Not even the league, man. The league don't want to see Rizzo on the Yankees. No, we don't want that. We don't need that. We don't want Rizzo on the Yankees, man. We don't want that, man. That's awful. That is literally awful, man. But he's still rocking the Windy City glove, so that's all that matters. Rizzo's on the Yankees. Chris Bryant is on the Giants, and Javier Baez is on the Mets, like we've all seen this week. I have seen all over the place that all of them have hit home runs in their debut games. Rizzo hit a solo shot, Baez hit a 2-run shot, and Bryant hit a solo shot. People have just been talking about that all day, all week, all day. It's just, oh man, it's just, I don't know. I really don't know. Because just people just been, as a Cubs fan, it's rough because we gave away our whole team. But we gave away our whole team for prospects, and just seeing the entire league just talk about every single day is just aggravating, because it's like, okay, that's nice, but I don't have to, you don't have to keep shoving it in my face every single day. You don't have to keep shoving it in my face every single day. Like, Jesus. Like, yes, I know they all hit home runs in their debut games. You know what I mean? They all did that. God, it makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. Jesus. But man, it makes me really, really just sad, depressed, angry that the Cubs management just doesn't want to pay our guys. And it really just first started with when Yu Darvish left. I think that was the turning point, because Rizzo, Baez, and Bryant were all in their, I believe, final years as being a Cub, as they were going to be free agents this upcoming season. So they still will be free agents. But Ricketts just didn't want to pay, and he just said, you know what, I think it's time to rebuild. One thing that wouldn't surprise me would be if they all came back while getting those prospects, because that's something for that's something for that teams might do sometimes. Sometimes teams they might give away a player for prospects, and then when that player becomes a free agent, they'll get them right back, just to make the team a little bit better, there's nothing, I don't think that's, there's nothing in the rule book or whatever that says you can't do that, because the player can do whatever he wants, but that's definitely something that they could do. I don't think it's something that they will do. But I definitely think it's something that that they can do, that they should think about if the Cubs want to win a title, But I don't know, man. It's definitely it's tough. I don't know. It's real tough because you don't want to. I guess as a fan team, seeing Baez and Chris and Rizzo there, being there for a whole decade, 8 years, and whatnot, just makes you sad, man, because it's Rizzo was Mr. Cub, why you gotta give him to the Yankees? I don't know, man, I just don't, I don't know how to feel about it. I still don't know how to feel about it. Can't really put my own words into it, but yeah. It's just tough, man. It's tough. Obviously I'll get over it at some point, but it's just every day I'm seeing that stuff about the three, and I'm just okay, it's can you stop? It's just can we can we stop talking about this? You know what I mean? I don't know. I have no more words for this conversation as I'm not stuttering. But anyway, let's get into the different topic, man. Let's get into last week, man. Last week was pretty interesting to say the very least. White Sox walked off on the Indians on Sunday. The Rays swept the Red Sox on Sunday. Giants won a series over the Astros. It was a good week for those teams, man. So it was. How about it? It was. Wow, I am tired. It was. It was very interesting the way how the AL East is going now, because now that the Rays have swept the Red Sox, the Rays are now a game in front of the Red Sox for first place. That changes the whole complex of the AL in general, because now that the Rays are getting in first place, now you know that they are actually a good team. They swept the Red Sox too, which everybody was saying was a top 5 team, top 3 team, I should say. Made them look silly, swept them. So that's definitely big. And we're getting to the point of the season now where these series against the top dogs in the division are actually gonna matter, because it's gonna let you know where teams are at, where their mindsets are at, what's going on and whatnot. Because we're in August now. We are in August, and the season ends in obviously September, but we are in August now. This is the point in time where teams need to show their dominance to, I guess, other teams in their division and go crazy, man. This is the time where they gotta do that, because we're getting to the end game point of it now, where it's guys or teams, I should say, do good against one team or do bad against another. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. It's going to be very interesting to see, how that AL East goes. But right now, the Rays and the Red Sox, and even the Blue Jays are kind of fighting back a little bit. They're getting their record up a little bit. They're trying to maybe fight for a wild card spot, because they are pretty close to Athletics. They're not that far behind. They're actually pretty close. But that's what's going down right now, man. There's just a lot of chaos right now going down in the AL, and I'm really excited about it. I'm very excited about it. Very, very, very excited. If we look at who's in first place, or even teams who, I guess just been going crazy. I mean, the Brewers. The Brewers are actually 3 games behind the Giants. For that number one seed. They're 7.5 games in front of the Reds. Teams who have, there's only one team who actually has a good division lead on a team. The biggest one, that's the White Sox, who beat the Indians in the series. They're 8.5 games in front of them. They're chilling with a great record of 62-44. In the AL West, the Astros are 4.5 games in front of the Athletics, and then 7.5 in front of the Mariners. The 2 wildcard teams actually now would be the Red Sox and the Athletics. And the Mariners are actually ahead of the Yankees by a spot. And the Blue Jays, they're right behind the Yankees, actually. The Yankees actually have a better record than the Blue Jays. So the Yankees are actually only 7 games out. I didn't think they were actually that close. I didn't really... damn. But there's no... I didn't think the Yankees were actually that close to the Red Sox, or who are now the Red Sox, who are in second place. But actually, they're really close. Like, they can actually, if they make a good run, they can actually get the first place. Personally... Blue Jays are, they're 8 games out. They can definitely make a playoff push. And you know what? I have an idea. Like, I personally have thought of this, but the way how the NFL has done it, where now there's 3 wildcard teams, you think in each league there should be 3 wildcard teams? Make it where, or not 3 wildcard teams, because in baseball there's 2. Do you think there should be 3? Make it where there's no bye. Like, a team with the best record doesn't have a bye. Or should we just keep it at 2? I've always thought about this for some reason, and I've always thought about it with the NFL, and they finally made the rule, but I've thought about it with the MLB. Should they make it 3 wildcard teams and make it where that bye doesn't matter? You know what I mean? Because now, I don't know. I just feel like they should, but I also feel like they shouldn't, because if you're going to get the number 1 seed, you deserve a bye. If they do that, that means there has to be 4 wildcard teams. But I don't know. I've always thought about it. I've always thought about it. It probably won't happen, but it's definitely something that you can always think about for sure. And I've always thought about it, so it's nothing... It's something that came across my mind, because it's actually been a very interesting topic ever since the NFL went to 3 teams for wild card. That maybe baseball should switch it up a little bit, But it would kind of just cause more chaos, since there's only really 5 teams that are actually in the playoffs, or in each conference, you could say. So I don't think that would work. But I definitely do think people should definitely give it, a think, or just think about it. Not something like that you go crazy about, but definitely something you can think about, in my opinion. But yeah, there are key matchups over the week, man. Before we get into our power rankings, though, we gotta talk about the key matchups going on in the week. So right now, the key matchups going on right now are the Mariners and the Rays. The Padres and the Athletics, and the Astros and Dodgers, who both start their series tonight. Mariners and Rays played yesterday. Mariners won. This is, I believe, the Mariners won yesterday. This is a very interesting. It could be a very interesting week. We have the crosstown series between the Cubs and the White Sox to get the Angels and the Dodgers playing each other. Who are about 2 hours away from each other. didn't realize actually how close they were. Anaheim and LA was. Without the traffic. The traffic's awful. But yeah, another big series are I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Brewers and the Giants. That's probably going to be the biggest series of the week right there. Because the Brewers, they have a chance to end the week actually as the top team in the NL, in the National League. That's exciting. Playing the Giants and not beating the Giants would actually would I guess you would say them playing the Giants and then beating the Giants. If they sweep the Giants, they most likely will be the top team. They most likely will, because they're facing the Pirates this week, the early part of the week. Good God, how that's going to go. Giants are facing the Diamondbacks, so most likely, probably not be the top team the Brewers will be, since Giants are facing the Diamondbacks. I think they are. I'm not sure. But yeah, the possibilities of that happening this week, probably not. But it's definitely, the Brewers are getting really close. They're 25 games over 500, and I'm not sure Christian Yelich wasn't playing bad. I mean, he could legit Christian Yelich. Like, if Christian Yelich wasn't playing bad, the Brewers could probably be the number one seed right now. They could probably be like I guess the number one seed. If Christian Yelich wasn't playing bad, but that's baseball. That happens. Players usually, he's coming off of an injury with, I believe, his back and his knee, if I'm not mistaken. It's mostly, I think, his back. I think. I would have to look at that again. I'll probably have to check that again. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be very interesting. Very interesting to see what goes down between the Brewers and the Giants this weekend. Now here's something. Two guys, both from the Cubs and the White Sox, hit 3 bombs. They both hit three bombs. Rafael Ortega from the Cubs, yes, the Cubs. Rafael Ortega hit 3 home runs and got all the Cubs RBIs, and they still lost 5-6. Still lost. White Sox, Sebi Zavala hit. Sebi Zavala hit 3 home runs for about 8 RBIs, and they lost. That was on Saturday. It was funny. Went from Saturday to Sunday. It went from a White Sox guy hitting 3 home runs to a Cubs guy hitting 3 home runs, and they both lost by 1 run too, actually, which is actually pretty funny. They both lost by 1 run. That's the beauty of baseball. You can hit 4 home runs, you can hit 3 home runs in a game, and you still won't win. Crazy. That actually leads me to my next point, actually, about the Dodgers. Man. I believe as of right now, the Dodgers are overrated, and I'm going to explain myself off of why. Yes, the Dodgers got Trey Turner and Max Scherzer. I'm going through these topics a little fast. I feel like I'm going through these a little fast. But the Dodgers got Trey Turner and they got Max Scherzer. Now, usually, since the Dodgers are dripping in that luxury tax, their salary cap is non-existent, is co-existent. And they got a network that makes them over $300 million every year, I believe. On a lifetime deal. They're never gonna run out of money. But what gets me to my point is that the Dodgers, they get all these great players, all these great guys, and yet they still can't win a World Series. Now, obviously, last year was different, but they only played 60 games plus the playoffs. So really, only a 60-game season plus the playoffs. Really, only played 80 games. That they really only played 80 games. Not even 80. At most 80. At most 80. They played about, I believe they played about 77 around that. But yeah, it wasn't a full season. It wasn't a full season. They like I said, it wasn't a full season. I don't know why I'm blanking out right now. I'm actually blanking out hard. It wasn't a full season. It was only 60 games. They won the chip. That was great. The COVID season. But now this is a 162 game season. And if it was like the last season, the Giants would be in first place. And they would have been the number 1 seed. And the Dodgers, during the 60 game season, I think they were in third place. So they would have been in third place, you know. So it's definitely very interesting, to say the very least. It's definitely very interesting. You know, very interesting. But jeez, I am just blanking out hard today, man. But what I'm getting at is that the Dodgers, over the past years, they would get good players, they go to the playoffs, they would go to the World Series, and then they would fall short. You know? And that's the difference between baseball and basketball and football, or not even football, between baseball and basketball. That's why you can have two dudes like LeBron and Anthony Davis from the Lakers carry you to a championship. While in baseball, yes, you have Mookie Betts, you have Cody Bellinger, you have now Matt Scherzer, Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, you have tons of guys, Justin Turner, tons of guys who can lead you to a championship. But since baseball is such a great and unique sport, even with all that firepower, still won't even win you a title. In fact, I don't even believe the Dodgers will be in first place by the end of the season. I said that. I don't even think they'll be in first place by the end of the season. I believe the Giants will be in first place by the end of the season. Either the Giants or the Padres. I said that. I said about a whole month ago that Giants or the Padres would be in first place. I said that a whole month ago, and I remember very vividly. I didn't have the Dodgers in there. I did not have the Dodgers in first place. There's a reason for that. You can have all that firepower you want, and obviously injuries are a big factor, but yet your team is still good without Clayton Kershaw. Your team is still good without Mookie Betts. Your team is still good without Corey Seager. You still have guys that can produce a whole lot, and if your guys can't produce, then like what makes you guys, like, since everybody has high expectations of you guys now, you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at now? Because it's a beautiful game of baseball. Doesn't really play with the super team logic like that. If you can't hit, you're not gonna win. You can't field, you're not gonna win. It's the way how it goes. One mess up in a game can cost your team the game. And with where the Dodgers are at right now, how low the season's getting, one mistake can F up their whole season, because they are not in first place, and they are in, I believe, second place by about a 3.5 game to a 4 game margin, which is not good with what the Dodgers want. They're right on the Giants' tail. They have been on the Giants' tail for a whole month now, and they still cannot succeed to get over the hump. They have been in that position for a while, and they still haven't done it. We'll see by the whole month about how the Trey Turner Max Scherzer situation goes, and we'll see where they're at in that. But with right now, what I'm saying is that they are an overrated team, because I don't believe in that team. I don't believe they're going to win a World Series. I don't even believe they'll win the division. If I don't believe they're going to win the division, what makes you think I believe they're going to win the World Series? You know? Yeah, I'm just being truthful here. And the Dodgers today are facing the Astros. After the Astros lost the series to the Giants, not swept but lost. They're not facing the Astros, not facing the Dodgers. So we'll see how the Dodgers do against the Astros. And we know how that history goes. They don't like each other. Cody Bellinger definitely doesn't like the Astros. He doesn't like Carlos Correa. He probably doesn't even like Jose Altuve. Actually, he doesn't like Jose Altuve. We'll see how that goes. I like scrappiness. It was in the bubble, or not in the bubble. The 2020 season, Joe Kelly, man. Joe Kelly's a GOAT. Man's throwing balls over Carlos Correa's head and shit, man. Joe Kelly's a GOAT. He's a GOAT. But I feel like we gotta respect the Astros a little bit more this season, man. As a whole, we got to, though. They are a very good team. They're not cheating. They're not using that stuff. And yet they are still in first place with the best record in the American League. They are still in first place with the best record in the American League. After people want them to fail, they are still one of the best teams in the league. They are a top 3 team in the league. In my opinion, they are a top 3 team in this league. Right now. They are still playing good baseball. They're playing that 2017 vibe, obviously not cheating, but the way how they hit in 2017, the way how they hit in 2018, the way how they hit in 2019, that's how they're playing. I believe the Astros can win the World Series this year. I believe it. I would actually love to see it. The Astros, after cheating, getting those rings that they got, that people say they stole, them going on this season, winning a championship. It would be so funny if they did, because the whole world would be like, oh God, they just won the World Series. After they got caught cheating, they now won a World Series where they did it legit, and we can't make fun of this team anymore, and we can't talk shit on this team anymore because they actually did it the legit way. That's how it's going right now. And that's why I hope the Astros win, because everybody talks bad about the Astros. But whether you like it or not, Carlos Correa is going to get a max deal. Jose Altuve is going to get a max deal. Yordan Alvarez is going to get a max deal. He better get a max deal. I don't care. He better get a max deal. Kyle Tucker's going to get a good deal. Michael Brantley's going to get a good deal. Alex Bregman's going to get a good deal. Those are a lot of young guys. Zach Greinke might get a deal if he still wants to play. They got Yuri Gurriel. He's about 30, 34. He's got one more good deal on him. He was in the minors for about 8 years. Went up to the majors. He has some years left. Astros could be a good team for a while, man. They're going to be a very good team for a while. And I think people just need to buckle up and just stop being crybabies about something that happened 4 years ago. Because I've gotten over it. I've gotten over it. Or something that happened 4 years ago, but got released a year and a half ago. Because I've gotten over it. It's a new season. You can't hate forever. That's my mentality. You can't hate forever. You can hate a team if you want, but at the end of the day, if they win that chip legit, there are going to be a lot of people where that's going to be a slap in the face too. And it's going to be the funniest thing ever if that happens. And trust me, I'll root for the Astros. I will. I'll do it. I just want to see them win. It would be hilarious if they did. Team that gets hated on that much, with a good reason too, and they come back and win the chip again, do it legit, that's a scary team. They have guys who will be getting max deals, where they will be in the league, where they will be on that team for at least 5 more years. At least 4 more years. Hell, look how baseball contracts work. The way how baseball contracts work. I'm thinking like this is basketball. The way how baseball contracts work, you can give Carlos Correa like an 8-year deal. Honestly. You could give him like an 8-year deal. You can give him like an 8-year deal. You can give him an 8-year deal. That's the way how baseball. That's the way how they work. That is the way how. That is the way how it works, man. You know, that that's what happens. And Jose Altuve, he's 31. You can give him a max deal. He has one more max deal. You can give him a max deal. Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa is only 26. You can give Carlos Correa a 10-year deal. You know what I mean? Like, this is you can give him a 10-year deal. Alex Bregman is 27. You can give him a max deal. He is 27. You can give Alex Bregman a max deal. Yuri Gurriel. He's a little bit older. He's 37. Wow, he's 37. Wow. Time flies by. Yuri Gurriel, still a good defensive first baseman catcher. You give him like a mini 2-year deal. He'll be on the team for long? No, but if he can prove that he can still play at like at age 40, 42, give him it. Yordan Alvarez. 24 years old, the Cuban slugger. You gotta keep him. He came from the Dodgers organization. He wasn't even on the team in 2017. That's why people don't really hate him that much. Same thing with Kyle Tucker, I believe. Kyle Tucker, 24. Michael Brantley, I believe, is a little bit on the older side. He's 34. You can still give Michael Brantley a good deal. You can hit. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with this team, and with how good they are, they can definitely win a World Series again. They were so close last year in the 60-game season. Don't think it would have mattered though anyway, because people still would have hated their asses. But now it's a 162-game season. People do the same thing with the Dodgers, you know. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens. But now that all being said, we got to go to our MLB Power Rankings. Our Power Rankings of the week have changed. They have changed. And this week's Power Rankings, number 1 is the Giants again. Number 2, the Rays, who went up 3 from last week. The Dodgers, who number 3, went up 1 last week. The Astros went down after losing a series to the Giants, went down 1. The Red Sox went down 3 after I had them number 2 last week, losing to the Rays. They went down 3. Brewers are at the same thing. They're number 6. The White Sox, I put them above the Padres this week at number 7. They have a great division lead, be a great division foe. I believe they have a better record than the Padres too. If I'm not mistaken. Could really flip-flop those teams anywhere. But I put the White Sox there because they're in first place. You know, obviously, I don't want to get more than that. Padres are 8. Obviously, they went down 1. Flip-flop. And the Mets are 9, and the Flags are 10. So in order, Giants, Rays, Dodgers, Astros, Red Sox, Brewers, White Sox, Padres, Mets, Athletics. Man, these power rankings, man, just talking about the baseball power rankings gets me so excited for college football. Because college football, man, is awesome, man. It's awesome. I watch college football every week, man. I swear, I think I watch like 10 games a week, man. Like that's why these power rankings for baseball are getting me excited for college football season, man. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be very exciting. But those are the power rankings for the week, man, for baseball. And that's gonna be it for the podcast today. The NBA free agency has started yesterday, but we will get into all of that next time, man. We will get all of that next time, man. There might be more news that may be coming out tonight, even tomorrow, maybe later in the week, obviously. But yesterday, free agency day 1, we will talk about all of that went down next time on our podcast. But anyway, I hope you guys had I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.